winners. Show up, up. That's what we do, right? We fucking show up. Hello, my loves. We're going to do a little bit of weights. Just a little bit of weights. Hi, Robinson. I'm good. Nice to see you. Let me see. Where do I have my list? Can I get some likes? Loves, double tap, double tap, double tap, double tap, double tap, double tap, guys. Double tap, double tap, double tap. Woo! Oof. Double tap. love. Give me some love. Some love, some love, some love. Thank you. I love you too. Ooh. Who else is working out? Who else is going to grab a dumbbell? Give us some likes if you're going to grab a dumbbell and work out with us. Hi Pedro. Hi Mama Dusar. Wow, Artis, nice to see you. Aden Sulda, nice to see you. Wanderson, Roberto, nice to see you. Zax, nice to see you. Jason Newton, nice to see you. Guys, you've been showing up. Clint, Tony, nice to see you. Suma, Kamisoko, nice to see you. Hassa, Zitolopi, nice to see you again. Robinson, my love, always here showing up. Right? Fuad, nice to see you. These are very good for this core right here. Ooh. Ooh. Who else are we giving a shout out to? Let's go. Ooh. My biggest thing is my core. Today I burnt my finger. So these are good for the core. Ooh. You know, I just came from a 1-hour run. What do you think? I'm a girl or a boy? To be honest, I think I'm both. I think I'm a boy because I can beat up so many men. I can beat them up so quickly, so easily. Most men are afraid of me than I'm afraid of them. Right? Ooh. Only thing I'm afraid of is rejection. That is Kanzoda. The only thing you're afraid is rejection. You should not be afraid of rejection. You should not be afraid of anything. People rejecting you, that's all. That's all. Reject them too and walk away. Right? People rejecting you should never be a problem. Ooh. Right? Don't be afraid of people rejecting you. You're going to be rejected. You're going to be rejected. And it's better to be rejected. It's better somebody to say no to you than to say yes and then not mean it. Right? It's better somebody says no to you and they're being honest than somebody says yes to you and then they don't mean it. They're people pleasers. They don't really want you. And sometimes when you get rejected, it's God's way of protecting you. Sometimes when you get rejected and you think it's a bad thing, God probably saw something in the future that was going to harm you. And he said this rejection is better than them facing that kind of negativity in the future, and God protects you. Sometimes people rejecting you is a good thing. And then when you're rejected, you get redirected to an even better path. Okay? Sometimes you think rejection is failure, but sometimes failure is the doorway to better things. It's all a mindset thing. Right? Is how you tell yourself about that rejection. Rejection is redirection to a better path. Right? Rejection is a redirection to a better path. If you guys are seeing a lot of haters right now, I'm working out. I'm not able to take a lot of their comments out. So for this live stream, they can have their day. Every dog has its day. Ooh. You gotta be strong in life, right? The pain of working out is better. The pain of working out is better than the pain of staying on the couch. So if you're on the couch, I'm trying to challenge you to wake up and join me. I'm cooked if the end of the world happens. The end of the world has been happening since I was born. Okay? Since I was born, I had stories of other people who had been duped that the end of the world is near. It never came to be. All these people who misunderstand the gospel think tomorrow is doomsday. They mean the world is passing, that the old will be gone and the new will come. It's not hard to understand if you got wisdom. It doesn't really mean that the world is ending, but it means the spiritual world is ending. Hi, Eddie. Nice to see you. Hey, Laura. Nice to see you. Who is this? Lift was a show. You subscribed, my love. Awesome. We got a new subscriber. Right? Sometimes it's nice to move this part of your lumbar by doing this. Right? Every day, in every way, we are getting better and better. It doesn't matter where you start, right? All you gotta do is just start, right? When I did physical therapy, I realized I need to start doing weights because I wasn't that strong. And my physical therapist was telling me to do things, and I realized I'm not that strong. Yes, I do yoga, but I'm not very strong. So now I'm in beast mode. I don't want to be that girl that I used to be ever again. I gotta be strong. Show me some love. Show me some love. Show me some love. Eddie in the house. Nice to see you. Omar Engine. I've never seen you here before. Mark Multanudo. Kelly. Hello, my love. Kelly Welma. Tube Master Channel. Nice to see you again, my love. Shiji. Nice to see you. I'm growing my muscles. They're baby muscles. Right? Ooh. Sexy, sexy bodies. Exercise. They look good. They do look good. Every day, in every way, they are getting better and better. They are getting better and better. They are getting stronger and stronger. Let me cook, bro. I look like Beyonce. Wow. Beyonce has a twin. Ooh. Snazzy Storm, you like my determination. Thank you, love, 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 love. Sam Bandiayi, thank you so much. Taro Biscuit Main says, I look more like the lady he's going to marry. Hassa, what country am I from? I'm from Kenya. In Kenya, we like to eat githeri, chapati, ugali, waru, bosho. Those are the kinds of foods that make sexy bodies. Waru, bosho, githeri. My favorite is mokimo. Ooh. Welcome guys to Post-Traumatic Bliss. There is no healing if you're not going to move your body. Movement is medicine. Movement is medicine. And when you see me as a coach coming here, working out, I want you to see the evidence that there are no shortcuts to your healing. There are zero shortcuts to your healing. If you don't move your body, you are not going to heal from trauma, from stress, okay? Because movement brings in energy, and that energy heals your body, okay? Movement takes out the stress and brings in the good endorphins in your body. It takes out the bad chemicals out of your system, and it gives you the feel-good endorphins into your system. Movement is medicine. Moving your body is medicine for trauma, for stress. As a trauma-informed coach, when I tell you to move your body to heal, it's because I have to do the same. And if you're going through trauma, you gotta move your body because your life depends on it. I come here, I show you the way. By action, right? I'm not just going to stay on my couch and tell you, you need to move. I'm going to show you that we don't heal trauma by sitting on the couch. We heal trauma by moving the body. You gotta move the body, okay? And you're not doing it for the world to see you. You're doing it because you gotta do it, okay? You just gotta do it. Nobody's gonna move your body for you. You just gonna do it, especially if you've gone through trauma. If you've gone through stress and trauma, or you're dealing with depression, you gotta move your body. Michael, I just went on a 1 hour run, okay? Give me a fucking break, okay? I went on a 1 hour run, and I came back and I did my push-ups, and I did my muscle workouts. I had an hour of muscle workouts in the morning, okay? And I did a half-hour run in the morning, okay? You got nothing on me. This day I put in everything I could put it in. Ooh. Like, this is my bonus workout of the day. And the reason why I did this bonus workout is because I wanted to come on live, but I did not want to come in live and then just sit on the couch for most of that time, because usually I do that and then we talk about mental health. But this year, I just don't want to lose weight. I want to gain muscle, right? right? Because, I mean, I'm already kind of fit, right? I'm already looking good. I'm not here to lose weight. I'm here to gain strength and muscle. This year, I want to gain strength. I want to gain muscle. And I want to maintain my weight. I don't want to gain weight. I mean, unless it's muscle mass. Oof. I can really feel those ones here. Right? Okay. Some of you think I can't hold a plank? Watch me hold a plank. I'm that bitch. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's enough. And hold a plank, okay? Truth of the matter is, I can hold a plank. Hey, you can say I'm not fit. At least you cannot say I'm not fit. You said I look gorgeous. Thank you, my love. Thank you. Now I need to make myself some hot chocolate. Okay? Let's make some hot chocolate and celebrate the day. I'm kind of feeling dehydrated because I just went on a run for 1 hour. I think it's time. Let me get some water. What did you have this morning? Some workout? You did some exercise? I can do push-ups. Okay, I'm not very good with push-ups, and here's the thing. Sometimes my wrists, they get inflamed. I can hold a plank, but I'm trying to get stronger here so that a lot of things goes into the core and not on my wrists. Yeah, I still have like some belly fat, which is still fine. You know, I still think I look great. I cannot complain. Last year I lost a lot of weight. I can get injections on my wrist. For what reason? Okay, so my wrist, I have one bone that's fused here instead of two bones. So it's one, like this bone, there are two bones. You see, if you do this, you will feel there are two bones. When they come here, they fuse. So I have one bone and it gets inflamed. Oh, you got a carpal tunnel. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, those ones you gotta watch out for. Welcome, Habitual 3. Thank you so much. Yes, subscribe and activate the notification bell. We're here to grow. Michael is in love with his woman. Thanks for the love. You know what I'm saying about push-ups? Yes. So, a lot about workouts is a lot of people say, yeah, push-ups are great. And I you cannot discount how great they are. They are great. But I don't think they're for everybody, especially most of us who can get our wrists inflamed. Like, sometimes I gotta take care of my wrists so that I'm able to do other types of exercises and stay active. What do you want to know about me? I'm too old for you. I'm too old for you. That's everything you need to know. Man, I was thirsty. I was very thirsty. I'm Kenyan. Yes, I'm Kenyan. I can tell you where I am. Kwa nini nikuambie? Kwani nikuambie? Wataka kujua ndo? Wataka kujua ndo? Yes, Alex, I am a PTSD professional. Okay? I help people overcome trauma. I actually educate people on trauma and what they need to do to overcome it. It's not that hard. I am both. I am sometimes in Kenya, sometimes I'm in the US, sometimes I'm in all over the world when I'm traveling. I am older than you. Does this face look like a 30-year-old? I am older than you. Just believe what I tell you. Okay? Trust me, women like me are dangerous. Women who look younger than their age are dangerous. is my hot chocolate? Am I getting this old? My goodness, I put it in the fridge. I put it in the fridge. That's how old I'm getting. Must have been stressed out. Today must have been a stressed out day. Thank you guys for jumping into my network. I think this algorithm is starting to get on fire because I'm getting more likes than I actually get sometimes. So we are doing something here. You guys are getting something from this channel, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not, you're getting something from this channel. Okay? We have value in this channel. We talk about mental health. We talk about living in post-traumatic bliss. I come from the sunny California. Well, take my class. Oh, are you sincerely wanting to take my class? I would say take my class if you want. Look at some of my earlier videos that I put on post-traumatic stress. You can send me your email at monica@posttraumaticbliss.com, and then I can send you some materials. If you work on the material and you jump on the Zoom calls with me, you're going to understand the nature of the mind. You're going to understand how you change your mind, and you're going to understand mental health. You're going to get into step with mental health as anybody else that you have seen, like Gargans, like other people that you admire out here who have solid mental health. They tapped into something. They tapped into their greatness, right? And we all can do that. We all can do that. But it's a choice. And when you make a choice and when you decide your path, you stick to the path, right? If you want to live in post-traumatic bliss and you decide I'll stop taking alcohol, you make that choice and you stick to the path, right? If you want to live in post-traumatic bliss and you say you will start working out, you make that choice and then you stick and you stay the course. If you want to live in post-traumatic bliss and we tell you spend less money and save some money for your future, you gotta start doing that and stay the course. You gotta be this person that's responsible for your life. Good question. What does post-traumatic bliss mean? A lot of people talk about post-traumatic stress, post-traumatic stress, all these stress, right? But what a lot of people miss, instead of staying to their pain, instead of feeling sorry to themselves, instead of just staying in that spot where you don't have growth, right? There is post-traumatic learning, there is post-traumatic growth, there is post-traumatic change, there is post-traumatic happiness, there is post-traumatic peace, there is post-traumatic bliss, okay? Life doesn't need to stop at, oh, I went through trauma, right? There is growth after trauma. There is learning. There is forgiveness. There is finding joy. There is finding peace. There is always hope. There is always hope. That is why we have this channel called Post-Traumatic Bliss. For some of us who have been through trauma, early childhood trauma, all that kind of trauma, there is hope. There is hope, there is growth, there is sunshine. Right, Jim, right? Good morning, sunshine. How are you today? And You dreamed about me last night. I come from Kenya. Yeah. If I could get $1 for everybody who fell in love with me on this channel, I'd be a billionaire by now. If I could make $1 for all of you guys who say you want to marry me, you dreamt about me. Mm. Dark Sphinx comes here and asked, why do we call our channel Post-Traumatic Bliss? Thanks so much for that lovely question. A lot of times, you're going to hear people talk about post-traumatic stress. We all understand post-traumatic stress now because a lot of people talk about post-traumatic stress, all this stress, right? Most people don't know that there is post-traumatic growth. There is post-traumatic learning. There is post-traumatic forgiveness. There is post-traumatic joy. And there is post-traumatic bliss. Okay? You can teach your body to be blissful. And if you have meditated or you know about these Tibetan meditation practices where they talk about the body of bliss, where they transform this body, where sometimes you have pains and aches and everything, they transform the body into the body of bliss. You know, when they do all these like breathing exercises, the body feels so good. It like all the cells, they are happy when they, after meditation, the cells in your body, you can feel them being happy. You can feel them vibrating. You can feel the bliss, right? Few people in the world get to the body of bliss, okay? This is a secret, okay? This is a secret. Listen, a lot of people don't know this secret. I'm going to let you know. That is why I named this channel Post-Traumatic Bliss. A lot of people don't know that the body can move from trauma and pain into post-traumatic bliss. That all the cells can vibrate at a very high energy, and that energy feels blissful. It feels like your whole body is in harmony and is immersed in this beautiful universe where there is just music and harmony and hydration and, you know, just beauty, extreme love, extreme peace. Just the body opens up. It's like when you see them showing the lotus flower, like the lotus flower opening up during meditation. A lot of meditation practices, they have that lotus flower. It is symbolizing the body of bliss, okay? That point when you're in such blissfulness that your cells kind of open up into another universe that is just pure joy. Pure joy. And you guess what? You don't need money for that. All you need is breathing, right? All you need is breathing. You will see a lot of yogis, they keep the body strong and they keep breathing. They keep breathing. Right? So yes, Dark Sphinx, that is what we say when we say post-traumatic bliss. Everybody who's gone through trauma, they need to learn that the body can transform from trauma, from all these pain bodies, the stuck energy that you feel. The body can transform that into pure bliss. That is the body of bliss. The body of bliss. All right. Tell me if you're going through any kind of trauma. Let me know, don't feel afraid. Ask what you need to know about healing trauma. I'm very trauma informed coach, okay? I'm a trauma informed coach. I always tell you guys I've gone through my own sets of trauma. So when I tell you that I know how you can get out of this, especially if you're in your 20s. If you're in your 20s and you've gone through trauma, you can easily overcome it. Don't wait until you're 30. Don't wait until you're 40, 50, 60. I have met a lot of people, they're in their 70s, 60s, they have not healed from trauma, and they live this very hard life. They live this very difficult life emotionally, and there's not much you can do. Let me see. Trying to get where my phone is. Tell me something about what makes you strong, what makes you wake up in the morning, why you look forward to the next day. What gives you motivation to rise up? Why? What gives you motivation to wake up tomorrow? The trauma I experienced, I lost my parents when I was very, very young, and I grew up in an orphanage, and I am grateful that everything, now that I'm older, right? I am grateful that of everything that I have learned. But I lost my parents when I was barely 6 years old. And for the rest of my life, I'm not going to ever have a relationship with either my dad or my mother. I don't know what kind of people they were. And when you grow up like that, for children is very traumatizing. They liken when you lose a parent, you're traumatized. When one of your parent is sick and you're a child, you get traumatized. If you grow up in poverty, you get traumatized. If you're abused emotionally, sexually, you get traumatized. If your parents don't show you that they love you, you get traumatized. If they favor one sibling over you, you get traumatized. All these things can traumatize people, and especially for children, we liken that kind of trauma to a soldier going into war. Okay, that is how much childhood trauma is. It's like being in a war zone all by yourself, because when a child is feeling left out or their parents are gone, they're in this battle of life all by themselves. And that is how I felt for a long time, like I was all by myself. So overcoming that trauma takes a lot. Okay, it takes a lot, but you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. What I don't want you to do is to let that sadness, that loneliness, that feeling like nobody wants you, to lead you into going to take drugs, to lead you into smoking, vaping, doing drugs, taking antidepressant medications, or taking narcotics, or doing hard drugs like heroin, like cocaine, like meth. We all have this pain. And this pain is real because you can feel it. You can feel the heartbreak, and there is pain. It's real pain manifesting in the physical reality as pain, right? Love yourself, pray, take on good habits, start reading, start writing, start working out, you know, like your life depends on it, right? Choose the other way. Choose the road less taken. When you do that, you will see victory. When you do that, you will see victory. That is how you overcome that life. That is how you overcome that animal. That is how you overcome that beast. A lot of people who go through trauma, they end up in drugs. They end up in all these things. And I'm saying, it is easy to find yourself there, to give up completely, and to let that pain determine your attitude towards life and God. It's easy to do that. But if you wanna live in post-traumatic bliss, you have to take the humble warrior. You know, you have to take the humble warrior like the monk. Learn how to breathe. Learn how to eat well. Learn how to keep the body strong. You gotta learn how to pray. Learn to have hope. Learn to have faith. Learn to love yourself above everything. Learn to set up healthy boundaries with people. It's not just one thing. It's not just one thing. Mental health is not just one thing. You will have to learn how to forge relationships. When you have gone through trauma, like me, when you have gone through trauma of not having parents, not having adults who give you individualized care, individualized attention, people can be challenging, right? Forming long-term friendships can be challenging. Forming long-term relationships that are mutually beneficial can be challenging. Okay? Most of the people who get traumatized at that young age, they never get married, they don't have children. You know, I am in that category, never married, don't have children, right? But at least I do have some long-term friendships that I have managed to keep. They're not so many, right? But I have learned to hold on to some friendships. I have learned to hold on to some family friendships too. But it's easy when you feel like nobody cares about you to not care about other people, or even when you do, it's not so much, right? Or when you do is out of people pleasing, it's not really a healthy attachment. When you have gone through childhood trauma, you have to relearn how to have secure attachment styles. You have to learn how to form bonding relationships that are healthy for you and healthy for other people, that are not based on survival mode, that are not based on people pleasing. All that, you gotta unlearn so many things and so many strategies that you learned through survival mode, and you gotta drop them and you relearn other strategies and ways of being. It's a lot. Yeah, that's why I have this channel every day, right? It's a lot. It's not just one thing. You could find yourself, you're struggling more with relationship. Somebody else who's been gone through childhood trauma could be struggling more with their emotions. Somebody else could be struggling more with addiction, right? We all are wired differently, right? And how we respond to trauma is very, very different. But when it comes to healing in a holistic way, we all kind of gotta do the same things. We all have to rewire our nervous system. And it's easy to rewire your nervous system through breathing, through exercise, through eating correctly. You really don't need to do drugs. Through learning how to forgive people sometimes, by learning how to cut ties with negative people completely, and by learning setting healthy boundaries. All these things, right? By learning how to manage your finances, your money. All these things nobody taught you when you were growing up. You have to kind of parent yourself all over again, over and over and over, until the program sticks. Because everything is a program, right? Until you create a new program, it sticks. And then you don't have to worry and think about it anymore, because the program has taken, you know, once the program has taken, you're in post-traumatic bliss. Pepper Trife is asking which program. I love it. I love that you ask which program, because this is the thing. Everything is a program. In your mind acts like a computer, okay? When you open your computer, you have different programs. Or let's say your phone, right? When you have your phone, you have different apps. You have an app for Venmo, for Cash App. You have an app for Facebook. You have an app for IG. You have an app for LinkedIn. You have all these apps. All these apps are like programs, right? They are like programs in your phone, right? Your brain is also the same way. You have a program for the language you speak. You have a program that reminds you your home address. You have a program that reminds you how to walk. You have a program that reminds your brain how to use your eyes to see things. You have a program that does math, if you know how to do math. You have a program that shows you how to dress, okay? Because you had to learn how to dress. You didn't grow up learning how to tie your shoes. You had to learn that, didn't you? You didn't grow up learning how to walk, right? Did you? You had to crawl, you had to learn how to stand up on things, and everybody gave you a big hug because you took your first step, right? All these are programs. In the mind, we call them neural networks, okay? We call them neural networks. So you neurologically, you don't know this, but neurologically, you programmed yourself. You programmed yourself to speak language. You programmed yourself to do math. You programmed yourself to talk. All these things are wired by a neural language in your nervous system, which you cannot see. The only things you can see is the little proteins called the myelin sheath that are evidence that you have programs in your mind. But all these programs are wired, right? A lot of people, when they go through a stroke and those neurons are damaged, that when you see, oh, that program has been destroyed. Oh, so I do have a program, right? I mean those programs. When you create new habits over time, instead of taking drugs to numb your pain, you decide to learn how to breathe through your pain. You start learning new coping skills. You start learning how to set boundaries. You're creating new mental health programs that are actually going to help you. And once you become very good at understanding your mental health, when you become good at putting in boundaries, right? You create new programs in your mind. And when those programs stick, because they stick over time, then you don't have to worry about maintaining them. But before you do that, you will have to work hard, right? Before I create a body that's neurologically strong and healthy, right? I really have to put in the work. Those neural networks will not create themselves, because this is how we do. There is a bottom-up approach where you create the program. You actively create the program. Like the bottom-up approach is when you go to driving school and you learn how to drive a car, okay, right? That's the bottom-up approach. But when you become very good at driving a car, it's the top-down approach that's functioning, right? Now you go home, you go to school, you go anywhere, you don't even know how you did it, but you are just driving yourself around to the market, to the mall, everywhere, because you already created the program, and now you're using the bottom-up approach to go everywhere you did. But how do you create the program? You are using the top-down approach once you completely learn the program, right? But when you're learning, you're using the bottom-up approach. So when you grow up in childhood trauma and you've been neglected, nobody showed you things, right? You have to raise yourself now, and you have to teach yourself these new programs, whether it's to manage your relationship, manage your money, manage your emotional health, coping with your emotions. There's a lot of things you need to learn, right? And you might feel like, oh my God, I hate those motherfuckers that were supposed to teach me this shit, but they didn't. Now I have this time to do. Don't worry, you're not late, okay? You're not late, okay? A lot of people are in the same boat as you, okay? You will struggle, but you will honor your journey, and your journey will be blessed by God, however you see it, right? So you see now, that is how it happens. So that's the program. Who asked about the program? Did you get the answer about the program? Did you get it? Did you get it? Who asked this question? Let me go back. Who asked this question? Are you still there? I took time to answer your question. Did you get it? Someone is saying emotions are not programs. You are not supposed to get a definite response every time you execute it. I don't know even what you're talking about. You're complaining about something. I also don't understand what you're talking about. That's the crux of it. No, my clothes belong to me and your clothes belong to you. All right? So the way we cope, right? The way we cope with our emotions is how we were taught to cope with emotions, right? And thus, that's the program that we get, right? Some people are easily triggered. Some people are more patient. Some people are very assertive. Some people are, the way you respond emotionally, that's a programming. It's not something etched in your genes that that you cannot change, right? But it's a programming. And my post-traumatic bliss, I show you the reasonings behind these things. When I am here and we are talking, it's not like you're taking a class, right? It's not when you're taking a class and exploring the issue in depth and understanding mental health in depth. It's not. And it's not being taught by your doctor either, right? What makes it harder for young people these days to get mental health is they will go on the internet and they are going to listen to somebody like the Diary of the CEO, and they'll have guests there that give them snippets of mental health here and there, here and there. They don't have the grand picture. And when you don't have a good understanding, like a good grasp, you can also easily be led astray. And that can also be devastating. Your emotional response is a program. Whether you like to understand it or not, you clearly don't understand the world of neuroscience, but everything is a program, okay? Everything is a program. Your emotional response, the way you respond to things, the way you're triggered, the way some people are easily triggered, some people cry easily, some people, there is the way they were taught how to respond emotionally, okay? Some people don't cry because they are numb, okay? Because their emotions, they have learned how to numb their emotions, and so they don't even respond at all. They don't cry when they're supposed to cry. They don't get angry when they're supposed to get angry. And this behavior is learned, okay? This behavior is learned. Everything that you learn has neural networks, okay? It is impossible for the brain to work and remember or get triggered without having to trigger neural networks, because our brain is neurological. And it's neurological wiring, okay? You gotta learn this stuff. That is why I offer classes, okay? You cannot, if we did not have neurons, if we were not neurological, there was no neurological wiring, you would not remember, okay? You would not remember this behavior makes me upset because there was no neurological wiring, okay? We, especially our emotions and everything we do, are very good with creating memories. And memories are neurons, okay? If we don't have neurons and we don't have emotions, we would not even be able to educate ourselves, okay? Everything is tied to our emotions. We feel and then we think, okay? So for you to come here and say, I don't know what I'm talking about, emotions and neurological wiring is not connected, I don't know what to tell you. You don't have bad neurons, okay? Nobody has bad neurons. Neurons are just neurons, okay? Neurons, they are neutral, right? Neurons are neither good, they're not bad. Neurons are just neurons, right? You know what? Go away. You're just coming here to bring chaos and to fight, you know, and we are not here to fight. We are not here to fight. We are not here to bring drama. We are here to learn and we are here to grow. And I don't want to keep responding to people who are not growth-minded because they bring everybody else down instead of us learning and having a good time. You know, we don't want to keep doing that. Yeah, we want joy, Cecile, right? We don't want people coming here to complain. That is not living in post-traumatic bliss, right? We are not here to twerk either, right? But dancing is good, okay, Metsan? I'm not here to talk for you because I have my own life, but by all means, okay? When you're alone, put on some music and break it down. Okay? Break it down. Okay? Be happy. We are here to create happy neurons, okay? We are here to create a neural network of happiness, okay? We are going to unlearn bad habits and create good habits that support neurological health, that support good emotions. That's what life is about, okay? And when you see me, like when somebody is mean in this channel and you see me blocking them, don't feel bad for them, okay? I want you to do the same thing with people in your life that are difficult, that are here to just bring problems, that are they come to complain in your life. You just need to block them. You just need to block them. You don't even need to go into dialogue once you understand that they're not here to understand you, okay? They are haters, hell-bent on misunderstanding you. Just block them and let them go their merry ways, and they can take their misery to other people. That is learning how to put on safe boundaries for your emotional health. That is how you do it, right? Everyone here comes is a teacher, right? And sometimes I would try to tell my neurons, exercise some patience, okay? Don't just block everybody. Just because somebody told you to go to work, right? I'm not going to block you for that. But if I see consistent disrespect, then of course I'm going to block you, right? Um, so life life life. So rider X is learning about neurons. I appreciate that you're still learning about neurons at the end of the day, right? As long as you're learning about them and how to keep happy neurons, and how to live in post-traumatic bliss, as long as I can see as a coach that you're learning, it is hitting home, okay? Now you're getting too much, okay? Now Beyonce, too much, too much, too much, too much, too much, okay? Let's keep it, what do you want it? X-rated. No, not, let's keep it, what do you call it? PG 13. Let's keep it PG-13. So yeah, learning about neurons is important, and learning neurological programming is important, because everything is programming you, and that is why it is dangerous, because a lot of people are being programmed by the media and they don't know. When you open Fox News, for example, and you hear them complaining about brown people, black people, and you listen to that for more than 60, like, it takes 25 days, right, to start neural wiring, okay, wiring your neurons. And if you listen to a negative rhetoric about other people for 7 years, 6 years, whatever, 10 years straight, you will develop a neurological program that hates and mistrusts other people, because that is what they are feeding you every day, every day, every day. That is what you're getting, right? And a lot of people, they don't even understand that they get to a level of madness, because now they let all this negativity and toxicity come in, and it's stuck and created new programs, and they are unable to get out of that loop. These people know these things. That is why you have to be very careful about the music you listen to, the kind of programs, the shows, and everything, because if people can program you without knowing, then they can control you, even without you being present, even without you being aware. All they have to do, right, is to show you things. Like, a lot of people are programmed through advertisements. The advertisements that come on YouTube without you knowing. You find yourself, you have bought something, or on the news they advertise medicine, they advertise all these things that are popping on, right? They are programming you into being a consumer, into being somebody who drinks, right? You're watching some news or whatever, advertisements come about alcohol and more alcohol. They are programming you so that you can take on that lifestyle. And you wonder, why can I stop, like, going out and drinking? It's because you're watching it every time. It is being advertised to you. It's being programmed, right? But you don't know it's being programmed if you don't understand neurons. If you don't understand neurological wiring, you don't understand neuroprogramming, you will not understand that these people, they are programming you and they are controlling you, and they are doing it deliberately. Okay? They are turning you against other people. They are making you hate other people. It is cruel, cruel world. That is why the Bible tells you, that we do not fight with flesh and blood, right? We fight with spiritual wickedness in very high places, because these people, they know they are programming children, they know they are programming young adults, they know you're programming old people. They know that the brain is plastic, that the brain can be transformed at any age. And when you listen to, say, like Fox News, and they're feeding you hatred of other people 24/7 every day, and you go on and listen for that for 10 years, okay? You are going to wake up hating immigrants. You don't know why. You just have that program. They made it. It's a program, right? It sticks. You gotta be careful. Like, you have to protect your mind. You have to protect your garden. It's a garden. It's a sacred garden. You know, you gotta understand how it works. Because if you don't understand how your mind works, you don't understand how it works, you're going to be very vulnerable in this world. You're going to be very vulnerable to manipulation. Matt Baker says, you're saying exactly what I'm thinking. You know, it's very true. It's very, very true. This is how it works. And there are no two ways about it. You know, the science of understanding. If you ask me every time you come here in my channel and I tell you, how do you want to transform your mind and your life? I always tell you one thing: understand the nervous system, understand how the brain works, understand the Word of God, and understand how those two things, science and spiritual practices, how they marry each other and how they affect your life, and how the world is trying to shape you, and how you can resist being shaped by the world and having agency and control of your life. You know, determining what direction you want your life to go and not letting the world shape you. You know, if you understand that being happy is important to you, then you understand that you want to feel love instead of feeling hatred, right? And anybody who wants to wire you to hate other people becomes your enemy, the enemy of your destination, the enemy of your happiness. Because if you let them come into your mind and wire your mind into hating other people, they will destroy you, right? Because once you hate other people, you have already destroyed yourself before you start destroying other people. Because God is love. God wants you to protect your mind and safeguard your heart so that you can be happy in this life. But if you don't know what you're protecting, if you don't know why it's important to have good mental health and why it's important to live in love, then you don't know what to protect. The people that I like to help are people who have been neglected, who didn't have good parents to teach them, to show them, the people who come from childhood trauma. Those are the people, for me, I really want to help, because if they don't have anybody explaining these things to them, how are they going to learn them? How are they going to learn them? How are they going? They're already vulnerable. How are they going to learn how to set boundaries? How are they going to understand their attachment styles? How are they going to understand how to protect their neurological wiring from further damage? All these things. That is why I set up this channel. And I thank you guys when you come here and you like the channel, you subscribe, because we need to put this world out there, right? You can learn by experience, right? Yeah. And you know what they say about experience as a teacher. Matt Baker says, I'm incredibly good at this. You feel blessed. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you so much for the feedback. Because I if I have one Matt Baker that day, I feel that I have made a difference. My life has made a difference, right? If I have one Matt Baker coming and telling me that, you know, that they're finding value in what we are saying in this channel. And all of you, all the 67 of you who like this message, thank you. Thank you, and God bless you. I am grateful. I am truly grateful that we can now start seeing these things so that we are not controlled. Because for a long time, when we are not aware that our mind, we can change our mind, right? Our mind is plastic. We can change our mind the way that we want it to change, right? But if we are not in charge, our mind can be controlled by other people without us even knowing, okay? Without us knowing. If you think about it, if you go to the club and you're drinking and they're playing all this music telling you it's okay to twerk and to have sex with almost anyone, right? And you end up being promiscuous and living that life, right? And facing maybe consequences of probably getting a disease or whatever, right? It's the programming that you got that made you feel that it's okay to have that behavior, right? And if you look at the word of God and everything spiritual and sacred that wants to protect you and your purity and your innocence and everything, right? It tells you not to do it, right? But it all depends on the program that you go. Whatever is going to program you will control you. And that is why I want you to understand programs in your brain the same way you understand the apps on your computer, or the way you understand the programs like Excel and Word or whatever you have on your computer. The brain works the same way, okay? There are viruses that can come into your brain, and instead of teaching it how to love, it teaches it how to be suspicious of people and treat people with hatred and treat people with negativity, when in reality, the Bible tells you everybody is created in the image of God, right? You gotta be careful. You gotta really know the enemy, who the enemy is, okay? And why they want you to side with them. If you don't understand mental programming, if you don't understand what is good mental health for you, you can side with the wrong enemy. Oh, okay? Gino Tedesco says exactly. Lust is a form of evil, right? And when you think about all the okay, it is unfortunate, right? That when you're not able to control your impulses, right? When you don't have that self-control, whether it's addiction to sex, addiction to stealing from other people, like the way the rich, they just have an addiction of greed to steal, right? They have this hungry ghost that they cannot, it's not satiable, right? And they, you can see that like if you think about the rich and what they are doing, like how we have these Epstein files of very rich powerful men defiling young children, right? There's a time I saw it, Balenciaga. They were out there, they were putting photos, and there was a big backlash here in America. They were putting photos of children holding teddy bears, and those teddy bears, they were dressed in BDSM attire. And if you know, like, this BDSM is like the deepest dark, like, sexual practices that people do, right? And they put like chains on these dolls, and they have children post for them, right? Is that people trying to program you to accept child molestation and sexualization of children, right? Because they know if they can start putting those images out there and people see them and people say nothing, people will be desensitized, okay, to believe that it's okay for a billionaire, you know, to perform sex acts on children. They want to desensitize your brain, right, to the evil that it is, right? And if you're the kind of person who's already down, right? If you're the kind of person who already thinks it's okay to have sex with anybody, like if you're already desensitized and programmed in that way of darkness, you will not see any problem with it, right? You will not see any problem with it because you have given way for your brain to be taken over by evil. It's your job to protect. What I'm trying to say is your job to protect your purity. It's your job to protect the integrity of your brain. Nobody's gonna do that work for you, right? It's your job to protect your integrity, right? It's your job to protect your mental health. It's your job to put up boundaries that say, you know, I will not allow people on my social media to put on images that are sexual about kids. I'm not gonna allow that shit, right? Like you gotta figure out where you draw your lines in your mental health. Because if you do not do that, right, then your mind can become depraved and programmed by people in a depraved way. It's important to do something that is uncomfortable but pushes you forward every day. Don't watch too much media and focus on your own goals every day. Gino Tedeso. You can say that again, right? Because why even focus on the media at this point? They're just trying to turn us against each other. They're just trying to make us hate each other. You know, they're just trying to make us feel that there is not enough money to go around for everybody. They're trying to make us feel that there is not enough jobs for people. They're trying to make us feel that there are not enough opportunities for everybody, that this is the Hunger Games and we need to hate each other and fight each other over nothing, because this planet is abundant. This planet has enough opportunities for everybody. There is enough food for everybody. There is enough space for everybody on this planet to build a house somewhere, even if it's in the bushes. Okay? There is abundance everywhere. So don't let people waste your time and your life hating other people. You've got only this one life, okay? For eternity, for forever and ever. There'll never be somebody like you. There'll never be somebody ever coming over. Why would you take your precious life and have you be programmed by media to hate other people? I just don't understand the foolishness. But if you don't think that your life is anything to protect, if you don't think your brain, your nervous system, your happiness matters and it should be protected, then it really doesn't matter. Then, like, right? Then it really doesn't matter. The way we program our mind is really important. It's super, super important. The way we decide to go about it, are we going to be controlled by our pain, right? I'm in my 30s, right? I'm in my 30s. But I can tell you, I have met people in their 50s, in their 60s, in their 70s that complain every day especially here in America, about immigrants. Every day they complain about immigrants. And I'm like, wow, God gave you this precious gift of life and you have wasted like half of it complaining about other people on the planet. You could use it to do something beautiful in your life. Like, why limit yourself to what you're being told on Fox News and media and whatever, right? Doesn't make sense. But everybody, everybody prioritizes what they think is important. But for me, I feel that these people, they haven't realized that they have been programmed. They have been so programmed, but I don't think they even care, right? I don't think there is even caring about the kind of program that comes through. James, where are you from? You're telling us good afternoon. Where are you from? It's almost night here in California. Right? You're watching from Solomon Islands. Where is that? I don't know where the Solomon Islands are. You're the first person I've met from the Solomon Islands. It's because yeah, again, right? That is why at least you have to do something every day that fulfills your life, just the way you said, right? That you have to do something every day that actually nourishes your soul, that is fulfilling, that whether it's meditation, when you meditate, you develop a love and compassion for people. Is in the Pacific Ocean. I'm also on the Pacific Ocean. What side of the Pacific Ocean? I'm also on the Pacific. Oh, and I don't have my phone. I could have checked out. I could have checked it out. Richard, you like my look and my style. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you for the flowers. I will take flowers. Love, getting love and positive energy from people is good, right? It's the way it shapes our brain. That's why I say stay around people who make you feel good. Thank you, James. Thank you, Zavi. Right. Stay around people who wire your brain to be happy. Stay around people who wire your brain to be peaceful. Stay with people that wire your brain to feel whole and to feel gratitude. People who remind you, right? Like gratitude, happiness. Stay around that energy. Let that energy shape your brain. Let that energy program your brain. Okay? Let that energy program your brain. The positive energy. Let your programs grow from that energy. Your program is your garden, right? Your mind is your mastermind. You're the one creating that brain. You're the one creating that mind, right? My voice is therapeutic and soft. I never thought that. Thank you. I'm glad you find it soft and therapeutic, right? You're the one programming your mind. You're the one determining the environment of the garden that is going to grow in your mind. So if you want a happy brain, then you have to choose environments that create a happy brain. I was telling somebody that the other day, last month, I left my job. And why did I leave my job? Is because my boss, of the way he was talking to me and the energy he was sending me, condescending, intimidating, disrespectful. And I could not stand there and validate anybody who disrespects me, because when you understand how those emotions can condition your brain, they can program your brain, you don't tolerate nonsense like that. You don't want somebody ruining your experience and the way you view life and the way you go about your life and the way you go about feeling your life. I am very cutthroat. I have become very cutthroat when it comes to dealing with people because of my mental health. Like, my mental health is the game changer. I am not in competition with other people. They are competing with my peace. They are competing with my ability to stay healthy and happy. And trust me, if I have to lose money for that, I will walk away. If I have to lose a relationship for that, I will walk away. I will protect my mind at whatever cost, because guess what? That is what the Bible teaches. The Bible says, above all things, guard your heart, because out of your heart, right, flows other things in life. So if you don't guard your heart, if you don't guard your neural wiring, you don't have anything. You don't have anything else to protect. You don't have anything else to protect. This is why I want everybody who wants to overcome stress, who wants to overcome trauma, to understand, okay? You got things you could lose, and you got things to protect. Right? You got things to lose, you got things to protect. You got where you're going. Chantalon Flea Boutique, you're new here. Like, subscribe. You're gonna love this. You're gonna love this show. You're gonna love here. We are here to heal, right? I give you quick, easy way to heal. If you can keep up with me, right? If you can keep up with what I'm saying, you're going to have to heal. Like, I don't see any reason why you can come to my channel and you're looking to heal from trauma and you do not end up healing, or you do not end up waking up and realizing, oh, I can decide the course that I'm going to take on healing my trauma. If I'm lying, ask people who have been here on this channel, right? Look at the comments here. Look at the people and what they are saying, right? Right? Because I show you the science. I show you the word of God that says, that backs the science, right? And I show you the power that you have and how you can change your life. You got all these things. 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 All right? Black women are very intelligent when they read books, when they learn from their experiences, when they deal with the pain, when they heal from their trauma. Very dangerous. Very dangerous, okay? Black women, when they understand their history, when they understand where they are, when they understand where they're going, when they deal with the past hurts, when they forgive the past, when they let go, when they put on new boundaries, when they choose healthy habits, they stop drinking, they stop having, fun with just anybody. They focus on business. They focus on their family. They focus on their body. They focus on their health. They focus on their emotional well-being. They prioritize peace over relationships, over money. They prioritize their happiness over well-being. They put up walls for anybody who wants to mess with their peace of mind. Mwah. They become beautiful. They become unstoppable. When they understand that they are shaping their brain every day by the choices that they are making, when they understand that they are creating programs in their mind every day by what they choose to do, right? They choose to create a program for a healthy body, for a happy heart, right? For a peaceful life. They understand that they can make those choices. You don't even need to be the richest person on earth to have those things. You just have to understand your neural networks and how to reprogram your mind, how to wire your mind. You gotta do the bottom-up approach before you get the top-down approach. Say I'm a Viking, right? You gotta understand the bottom-up approach before you benefit from the top-down approach. In Kiswahili we say, ukiona vyaelea, jua vimeungwa. That means, right, when you see a boat in the sea sailing, okay, it is not sinking, okay? If you see that boat sailing and it's not sinking, right, understand there is craftsmanship behind it, right? Understand that it's not a mistake. Understand that that vessel has been built, okay? Understand there is craftsmanship behind that vessel floating, okay? When you see somebody who has peace of mind, okay? When you see somebody feeling unbothered by life, okay? Don't mistake that as weakness, okay? That person has been molded from the inside out, okay? That person is not somebody you can mess with, okay? They will cut you off very quickly when they understand that you're wasting their time and you're not good for them, okay? When you see somebody floating like that, if you see that vessel floating like that, it has been built to perfection, okay? There is work that has been done behind it, right? I want people, when they see you moving through life in peace, in confidence, in full charisma, in full bloom of joy, okay? That is not like you're faking it or anything. It's because you have put up enough boundaries to protect your mental health, okay? That nobody is going to cross them. You have put up enough boundaries to protect your mental health. If somebody comes into your life, okay, and you notice they're causing more chaos to your internal mental health and your mental peace, instead of feeling peace, you're feeling like they're hot and cold, you're loved, you're not loved, you don't understand where the fuck the relationship is, you're going to cut them out, right? Because they're sending signals to your nervous system that is saying that is making you doubt yourself, that is making you not feel that you're okay, right? You cut them off, life will bring in somebody else, life will bring in somebody new, life is going to bring in new people, right? We don't have time to deal with people who are messing up with our nervous system. We love ourselves, right? You cut them off, other people will come. We have more than 10 billion people on this planet, okay? One person not loving you, the world does not end, okay? We have other brilliant people, other lovable people, other beautiful people, okay, that are out there, okay? You cannot be obsessed with one person that is hot and cold, right? You cut them off. Anybody who messes up your nervous system, we are cutting them off. Okay? That love is going to, okay? And we are going to love ourselves. Okay. Right? We're going to love ourselves, because if you want to walk through life with confidence, if you want to walk through life feeling safe, if you want to walk through life feeling great about yourself, right? You have to protect your emotional life. You have to protect your emotional health. Jesse, thank you. Right? You have to protect your emotional health. And that is how you become strong, when you understand, like, you have things to protect. You have your energy to protect. You have your peace of mind to protect. When people see you walking out into the world, they will sense that there is something deep about you, that you have been built from the inside out. Okay? They will know it. They will know that you are that strong, you're that badass. But it's because you protect you, right? You protect yourself first, right? You build yourself up from the inside, right? Above all things, the Bible says, guard your heart. Above everything else, you have to guard your mind, you have to guard your heart, and you have to be ruthless. You know, sometimes you just have to cut people off, right? Quickly, and it's over, right? Like, if you go out on a date, like for me, sometimes I go out on a date, right? If I feel that this somebody, we are not going to, it's not going anywhere, okay? We don't agree on spiritual things. We don't agree on political things. They, you know, they just don't get it. Tip, 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 right? Access gone. Access denied. We don't have to do this, right? We're not children. We don't have to do this. We are not in school. I don't have to see you tomorrow. I got a life. You got a life. It's over, right? People can go deal with their emotions the way they deal with their emotions. If you're somebody who drinks, you're going to mask your pain and drink, right? If you're somebody like me who likes to go work out and run, right? And mimic the stress response and get those whatever stress responses out of my body, getting the new energy and the new endorphins into my system, because I understand my mental health. Kudos. Building yourself in, protecting your energy. You have something to lose if you allow negative people in your space. Exactly. No compatibility, no date, respectable. Everybody goes their own way. Life goes on, right? You may say politics will not divide you, Jesse. And on a deeper level, I think it shouldn't, okay? But I'm not going to be naive and tell you that for me, as a woman, as a Black woman, I can date MAGA, okay? I'm not gonna tell you that, because it's impossible. It's not going to happen. I cannot live with somebody that hates my guts and votes against my rights, okay? And the rights of the children that I may have in the future with them, okay? Okay? It's not gonna happen. I'd rather you hate me but not share my bed with me, okay? I'm not gonna sleep with the enemy. I'm sorry. It is that way. You think politics will not affect things? For me, it does, okay? I would rather spend time with somebody that I agree with politically, okay? And when we have children, we are all in the same page, okay? We don't like oppressive politics. We are all in one. We are our own small little gang, okay, that loves each other and protects each other without the third wheel voting against our rights. I'm not gonna have that. And I'm not gonna have Fox News playing in my house because somebody has been indoctrinated into madness. You may not think that is a big deal. but no compatibility, not it, and it's respectable, and that is it. Okay. Okay. And I'm not about to start another argument with Ice. So thank you. I just don't want to start another argument like in that negativity. You know, I don't have time. I don't have time, and I don't want to build those connections of arguing. I don't have time. I have my energy. I have my mind to protect. I have neural networks to preserve. Okay. Habari Jerry. I'm not falling for it, Zach. We have neural networks to preserve, right? We have neural networks to preserve. We have mental space for other things. That is how you deal with it, right? That is how we deal with it. When you don't give people space, that's why I want you to understand when it comes to mental health, your energy and your attention is everything. Narcissists want to feed with your energy and your attention. And when you're not giving energy and attention, right, it dies. It dies. It's non-existent in your space and in your energy. That experience, it's not here, right? It's not here. It goes. It's not something that you're experiencing, right? All you have to protect is your experience, is your inner world and your inner experience. And that is why, you know, a lot of people who want to ruin your life, they want to be in your space. When you don't give them your time, you don't give them your space, you don't give them your energy, it's like you're killing them, okay? They become irrelevant. They die out of your experience. Remember when they say out of sight, out of mind? I also want you to understand the neurons work the same way. The neurons, what you do not use, you lose, okay? If you want a program, if you want to overcome a program, let's say it's even an addiction or whatever, the world of neurons is very simple if you understand it. What you do not use, you lose. What you do not use, you lose. The last time you tried learning a new language, okay, and you failed miserably at it, is because you stopped practicing. You stopped practicing and you forgot how to do math. You stopped practicing, you forgot your new language, which was Spanish or Mandarin. You stopped practicing, you lost it. You lost even the ones that you had learned. You forgot them. Why? Because in the world of neuroscience, what you do not use, you're going to lose it. Okay? With negative people, try even their names. You don't even have to remember their name, okay? You want to forget their whole experience. Okay? You don't want to use them for anything, okay? When you want to wipe out people out of your life, you want to wipe them out from your neuroscience. You don't need to shoot somebody. All you just have to do is to get them out of your experience, and you're going to lose the neurons associated with the experiences. There are people I blocked out of my life. I haven't talked to them for 5 years. I don't have time for that, right? They're not in my experience because I lost neural networks associated with them, right? They're not here in my experience, okay? I don't remember them. I don't know them. They forgot me. I forgot them. And, you know, in my mind, we went back into the experience of when we didn't know each other. The world of neuroscience is very important to understand. What you do not use, you lose. Your focus is everything. Where attention goes, energy flows. And where energy flows, neural connections grow. And where neural connections grow, that is the experience that you're going to have, that is the program you're going to have, that is how you're going to see your world. It's very important to understand the power of your focus, the power of your attention. I'm giving you this information for free. People charge coaches and everybody to tell them this shit. People go to gurus to just understand this. That is why you see the monk sitting, they are doing nothing, just meditating and feeling happy and feeling blissful, because they understand feeling nothing, focusing on nothing is the height of wisdom. Is the height of happiness, because you're not bothered by anybody. Your experience is not being tarnished by anything. Okay? You're just there, listening to sounds, listening to the birds, seeing the zigzags that are happening with the lights and the darkness of your eyes, feeling the cold air in your body. Okay? They just are there, just feeling just the senses of their body, going inward, feeling their heartbeat, feeling their organs in the body. They're just there. They're not out there experiencing this grand reality of enlightenment and being confused and thinking about whatever. They're just there experiencing peace and harmony and inner joy, because they understand all this other shit is noise and they want to protect their mind. Okay? Marcel Powell, thank you. Great, good vibes, positive, natural face, looks pretty. Thank you, my love. Okay, read your messages. Damn, girl, read my let me read my messages. Okay. RFD Lifestyle says, if by love, Black women and Trump are going to find whatever. What are you talking about? I don't, you see, my neuroscience, sorry. If you say Trump, you lose me, because my neural networks don't like that guy, okay? You gotta not even talk about Trump. My neural networks don't, they don't fire that way, okay? Talk about Obama, talk about Michelle Obama, okay? Talk about positive people who are going somewhere, okay? For Trump, we're just waiting for this to end, however it's going to end, okay? The sniper missed, too bad he became president. Now we gotta live with this. That's okay, okay? I'm not praying for long life, but I am going to sit here and accept America voted and it's democracy, and I have to respect that he's the president. But okay, understand, like 49% of us, including me, we want him gone quickly, okay, so that we can move on to normal life. Okay, so don't touch him on his channel. What I don't want to use it, I want to lose it, okay? Those neural connections, I want to lose them. Okay. Tell your story, walking. How's your friend? How's my friend doing? Thank you, Randy. I'm doing good. Can you do 5 jumping jacks? Somewhere of 49. And then, okay, I've read all your comments. What else do you want me to do? Yeah, so yeah, some of us are waiting for this to end, and hopefully we can take up democracy back and make on a new laws that actually make sense and drive the country in a more positive direction. So yeah, we are not falling for this, okay? We are not falling for this. guys. We're not falling for this. We're not gonna argue about Trump. We're not gonna argue here, okay? Go to another channel, go somewhere else, okay? We're not gonna argue about that. We like Michelle Obama. We like a president that does not think black people are apes, okay? We love Michelle and Obama. We love life. We like people who have good vibes, people who write good books, people who actually care about humanity, right? We love good people who don't have to bully other people. We love people who want to bring people up, not people. We love that. That's the energy that I want. I love that energy that comes from Michelle and Obama. They want to bring people up. They have good energy. They have had this beautiful, long-lasting marriage that makes people want to get into nice and loving relationships. Let me charge my phone. Right? People who want to cultivate a healthy love, right? Yeah, right. Yeah, we want politics that are not driven by hate. But if that's what you want to do, go to another channel. Here in my channel, you're not welcome. I'm here to protect my happiness. I'm here to protect my happiness. Okay? And definitely, I'm not here to support somebody who has been mentioned in the Epstein files 38,000 times, okay? I don't drink that Kool-Aid at all. I need some more hot water. I'm using these jars because I used to use the plastic water bottles like these ones. These are not good because of microplastic and shedding of the microplastics. So I use this because it's not plastic and it's not gonna shed. So small little adjustments. Small little adjustments. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me tell you, 6. My knees hurt. Like doing this hurts my knees. Sometimes you have to forget the pain, right? And work out. You see how quickly when you get out arguments on your channel, there's nothing to argue about. And I don't want to develop a mind that argues like a mad person. Somebody like picking up fights with people on the internet like I'm dumb. I cannot do that. And then form all these neural connections for fighting. I don't want to fight. Okay? when I know how to ignore and block people. Why fight when you can ignore and block people? I want you to become dangerous, okay? It's not being a bitch, but if it's being a bitch, that's fine too. Chili and beans. Oh yes, yes, that's githeri. I'm from Kenya. I got this thing from the thrift store. The thrift store on Amazon, it's like 30 bucks. On the thrift store, it was like 9 bucks. So when I saw it, I was like, oh my goodness, it's the middle of winter. For 9 bucks, I'ma take it home. See, it's like one warm blanket. Oh, darling, you like my face? Thank you, Yudo. Nice to see you again. Nice to see you again. Today we've been talking about overcoming stress, overcoming trauma by wiring your mind and taking charge of your happiness. By understanding the programs in your brain, by understanding neural connections, by understanding the top-down and the bottom-up and top-down approach to neural networks. For those of you who got it, got it. Okay, for those of you who want to change your mind, to rewire your brain, you really gotta understand what we are talking about. You want me to turn around? These things, to understand them, is important. Like your life depends on it. Important. Important as in your life depends on it. If it didn't, I wouldn't spend my time here talking about it. The reason I come here and talk about it is because I know somebody's life will be transformed. I know it, okay? I know somebody's life's going to change. I am convinced of it because, right? Because God would not have me be in possession of this vital knowledge that I know is life transforming, right? And have me do nothing about it. Hello, Jomazoshi 1689. Love to see you. Welcome to Post-Traumatic Bliss. Welcome everybody to Post-Traumatic Bliss. Are you healing from trauma? Do you want to know how to get easily out of trauma into post-traumatic bliss? A lot of people talk about post-traumatic stress. Nobody is telling you that you don't have to sit there and feel sorry for yourself and your life and everything that has happened in the past, okay? There is learning, there is post-traumatic growth, there is post-traumatic forgiveness, there is post-traumatic self-love, there is post-traumatic peace, there is post-traumatic joy, okay? There is post-traumatic peace. Healing is real. Hope is there, right? We don't have to live in fear. We don't have to live in anxiety. We don't have to live in depression. We don't have to. We need to learn how to heal. Chili and beans, you're saying you're definitely dealing with PTSD. It's really tough. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Do you want to get out of it? What kind of emotions are you feeling right now? And if you really would like to stop feeling that way, would you be willing to do the things that would stop you feeling that way? Because sometimes we can feel pain, but we are attached to it and we don't want to let go because pain has become our identity, right? But the pain that you feel is trying to show you somewhere else. It's trying to direct you somewhere else. It's trying to show you a different kind of way of life, right? Pain is a teacher. When pain comes into your life, pain is a teacher. That is why a lot of people, they transform pain into path. Here at Post-Traumatic Bliss, I am here to show you how to transform pain into path. So stuff happened a long time ago and I got angry randomly. It's terrible. You got triggered, right? If something happened a long time ago, right? There is an emotion that you did not process, right? And then something similar happened and it activated that pain that you had not dealt with, right? It activated it. It activated the pain. So here is the thing. Two things you can do. Okay, I'll give you some of the things that I can help you, that you can do. You can do on your own these things to help you. You can look for an NLP practitioner. This is neuro-linguistic processing, okay? And they're going to distort the pain, okay? The reason you have pain is because pain is stored as a memory in your body, okay? The body stores this memory. If you're not able to deal with these emotions as a child, the body stores that unlocked emotion, okay? Until you're grown enough, you're mature enough to look at the pain and process it, because as a child, or when you're not able to deal with the emotions, when you're too vulnerable in survival mode, you don't have time to look at the emotions. But it gets stored there like a small present for you to come and deal with it later. And when it's time, you get something triggering the pain, and then you have to deal with the pain. Now, pain is stored in your neurons like a language, okay? Just the same way you speak your own language and you have the way the language is stored in a pattern, is the same way pain is stored in a pattern in your language. Pain is stored as a pattern in, like the same way that you store language. Language has a pattern, pain has a pattern. It is stored somewhere in your brain, not in your, it could be stored in the memory of your body. Somewhere you might feel pain bodies in your, because you feel real pain. Emotion of pain is real pain, right? But I want to understand trauma is stored like in a neural language, the same way every other program that you have, whether it's your language, your ability to speak, to do math, your ability to walk, everything the body does, it stores it in a neural language. So the body remembers that pain because you remember the memories of it and you continue to trigger it and you continue to remember what happened, exactly how it happened. You have this story written in your memory about how your pain is manifesting itself. So it's a story in neural language. in neural pattern. When you get an NLP practitioner, who understands neural language, they're going to distort, okay? They're going to distort that pain memory. They're going to make it fuzzy. You're not going to remember it, how it happened, okay? It's going to be very like, it's kind of like a story that you don't remember quite well how it ended. Like you're trying to remember. They distort the pain so that you're not able to even remember it, okay? When I was healing through pain, I had an NLP help me through the death of my mother. They helped me distort the pain. It doesn't take the experience away, okay? It doesn't take the experience away. Like, for example, my mom is still dead, okay? But the way now I experience her death and the events around it is not that painful. I can talk about it without crying. I can talk about it without getting triggered, right? And the same way that happened with the death of my brother, right? For 10 years, I just had this deep grief, such deep grief. But when I did NLP and those memories were distorted, now it's kind of like it is fuzzy. It is fuzzy. So you can do NLP therapy. Find yourself an NLP therapy to help you distort those memories. You're going to hit a home run. This one, the next advice I'm going to tell you to do your research. Okay? Don't jump into this if you have a history of manic depression, you have a history of bipolar, you have a history of psychosis. Don't jump into this one that I'm going to tell you. But I'm going to tell you because you came to my channel and I have to tell you information. How you're gonna do with that information is up to you. But I want you this one to do more research. Psychedelic magic mushrooms, they are known to go there and stir those emotions that are like locked, that you can't have access to your body. Sometimes when we have trauma, we become like a shell of ourselves because we cannot feel those emotions. We feel very numb. We are not able to cry. We kind of like stuck in these infantile emotions that we are not able to process. And it's terrible. Psychedelic magic mushrooms, they go in there and they stir that pot. They stir it, they bring all the pain, and you cry and you process. And what you need to do is to process instead of that pain staying there stuck, okay? If I'm helping you understand this better, like understand the pain, give me a thumbs up. So I'm just going to tell you things that you can do that can really help stir that pot, get out that emotion, bring it out into the surface and process it. NLP, psychedelics can work, but if you have a history of psychosis, if you're doing drugs, if you're doing other drugs like these stupid SSRIs and all these like sleep medication and antidepressant medication that they're giving you out there by big pharma, don't try to mix it because psychedelics really work and they impact your whole nervous system. And if you're doing other things that are also affecting your nervous system, I don't know how that can end up for you. Okay? I'm just saying, okay? I don't recommend people to use other drugs, alcohol, other things, kind of like, just know, don't abuse these cocktails of things, right? Psychedelics, they are not addictive, okay? They taste like shit. That's why you cannot get addicted to them. And that's when you know good medicine. Good medicine tastes like crap, so that you're not doing it for fun. Again, no mixing, but psychedelics work better 1,000 times than these SSRIs that are out there on the streets. If you didn't know about them, I'm giving you this information so you go work for yourself and understand. Those two that I have given you, like some of the best advice you'll ever get out there. Okay, moving on. Faith. You cannot discount God in your mental health. Okay? You cannot discount God giving you hope and faith and giving you directions about life. A lot of times we go the wrong way in life because we stopped listening to the wisdom and love that comes from God, okay? Yeah. You know, sometimes even the careers we choose, if we really listened to the voice of God, we probably would not end up in those careers in the first place, because those careers are traumatizing, right? Sometimes you can avoid a relationship that is unhealthy for you because you listen to the voice of God. Sometimes you can avoid traumatizing yourself because you listen to the voice of God. But hey, when you do that, because you're human, and we are all human, and when we are young, we can make mistakes. When we are old, we can look at our mistakes and laugh at them. But you can still find healing from the Word of God at the end of the day, right? You can still teach and rewire your brain with the Word of God, because all you gotta do is rewire your mind, right? Is renew the mind, rewire it, right? There are so many ways to rewire your mind. If you're going through post-traumatic stress, you're going to work out like a beast. A. Did I say like a beast? Hi, Desire Channel Explorer. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Yeah, you said military. That's why you have PTSD. Yeah, you need therapy. Obviously, you need therapy. And when you go to therapy, okay, a lot of therapists are not going to say things to hurt you and to harm you, because they want to encourage you to talk and get things out of your chest. Go out there, get things out of your chest. If you are in the military and you killed somebody, tell them like, I did it and it sucks and this is how I feel and blah 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 blah. If you go into the military or law enforcement, you will be traumatized, okay? They don't tell kids this way. You know, they like to go out there and look for children who are 18 years old, people in their early 20s. This is part of how evil the system is, right? Because they're not coming for somebody like me who is 30, who has already known that those people, they get serious mental health problems. They're not going to come for me. They're going to go for the kids, and they're going to lure them with free education and whatever so that they can join the army and the military, and they're going to face things that no human brain should even bear. They know they are doing this, okay? They are marketing it as being a soldier fighting for your country. They're not marketing the truth. If they wanted to market the truth, they would tell you the PTSD, the things that happen out there, people coming home, they are maimed, they don't have arms, they are missing parts of their body. If they told you that, you would think twice, okay? It's a marketing campaign, you know? The devil is a liar, okay? He's sly. Okay. Anyway, some of those things you have to know, and then you have to forgive, right? That somebody probably misguided you into going into a career that's very difficult without your understanding of the real consequences that could happen to your mental health. Because if they had told you, and these things they know, right? Everybody has known about PTSD and in the military since World War, even before World War II, okay? This is not something new. Back then, before they called it PTSD, they used to call it shell shock. And then they came to understand like, oh, it's this environment. This environment is very bad for the human body, for the human soul, for the human, it's everything against mental health, right? Anyway, you have to work out like your life depends on it, because trauma is stress, okay? And a way to get stress out of your body is to mimic the stress response. When we are under stress, the way we get out of the stress is by running, by fighting, by moving the body, right? Because we are under stress. Like if you're being chased by a lion, you're not gonna just sit there, right? So when you mimic, exercise mimics the stress response. And when you have PTSD, sometimes you may not even be able to move because your body does not move. It's in this depression where it doesn't want to move, it doesn't want to get out of the couch, it doesn't, right? And this is where your fighting instinct comes, because you gotta move, you gotta run like 12 miles a day. I don't care, whatever it takes to get your body out of that you gotta exercise like your body depends on it. I don't know if you're going to exercise 3-4 hours a day. Baby, you gotta do it, right? Yeah, look into NLP therapy. Exercising like your life depends on it. The thing is, if you're doing any of these SSRIs, like antidepressant medication, they are very dangerous. You will have to come out of them at some point, and then you will have to deal with your own pain, because you cannot numb yourself with pain meds, and you cannot numb yourself with antidepressants forever. At some times, you will have to get out of those things and use your own coping mechanisms, learn new ways to cope without using drugs, but you have to taper them off. Those things are dangerous. Okay, we've talked about that. You gotta learn things like meditation and breathing, okay? When you're dealing with PTSD, your nervous system has been messed up with, okay? It's the nervous system. If you're dealing with anxiety and depression and confusion and all that, the system that has been affected is your entire nervous system. We're talking about the brain, the spine, the peripheral nervous system, the emotional, the loop, right? Your fight or flight response. When you live in a dangerous environment, right? A survival mode environment, sometimes your brain can lock you into a survival mode. Like it can lock you into survival mode. So I'll give you an example. They did studies of children who grew up as child soldiers. And those children, when they were given faces of people who are smiling and having a good time and being happy, they could not recognize those emotions. They could not name like this person is feeling happy, this person is feeling joy. They could not. But if somebody was angry, if somebody was upset, if somebody was aggressive, they were very, very capable of noticing those emotions. In fact, they did better than the average person on recognizing like those negative, hard environment emotions. What means is that their body at some point, right, decided that these people are in a survival mode, okay? They need to be very highly aware of their environment. So it blocked them from the hypothalamus, the part of your brain that switches you from survival mode into homeostasis, into balance. It was seen to be smaller, physically smaller. It means your environment can shape your brain, okay? And so when the hypothalamus has shrunk, right, and it's smaller, they are unable to switch from being in survival mode into being in like happy state of mind, into a more balanced, relaxed, happy state of mind, because they were locked into survival mode because their brain wants them to survive. If they drop their guard down, they might not be able to survive. And that is the mind of somebody who is going through PTSD, okay? Not necessarily childhood trauma, but somebody who is going through PTSD. They can be locked into survival mode. Now, what will trigger you to get out of survival mode is things like working out. But breathing is number one, okay? Breathing is number one. You have to learn pranayama. You have to learn how to breathe. You know, you can use people like Wim Hof to help you with breathing, okay? Because breathing will move you from survival mode into homeostasis, into balance. It will unlock your nervous system from PTSD to balance. It is very important that you know these things that I'm talking to you about. Like, I hope you're writing them down. Okay, like breathing is like, it will unlock you. If you're not eating healthy, okay, if you're eating like the American sad diet, the standard American diet, you're just eating more bread, more sugar, more stuff, right? Remember, when you don't eat nutritious, healthy, nutritious food, and you eat like bread, you're going to feel full, like your stomach is full. But your cells will be starving of vital nutrients. Your cells in your body will be starving of vital nutrients. And when the cells in your body are starving of vital nutrients, what are you telling your nervous system? You're telling your nervous system that you're not in an environment where you can afford healthy food. You're in survival mode, okay? And so your nervous system believes that you're starving because you're trying to survive. That is why you're not able to find it nutritious food. What does the nervous system do? It locks you into survival mode just because you did not choose nutritious food. Okay? I'm telling you to understand the nervous system and the intricacies of how it decides whether you're in survival mode and whether you're in balance, okay? If you don't breathe correctly, if you're breathing like somebody is chasing you, or you're not breathing from the lower diaphragm, right? You tell your nervous system that you're in survival mode. It locks you in survival mode. That's why you gotta learn how to breathe correctly. And small things, like if you talk too fast, you eat too fast, relax. Relax the nervous system. Cold plunges are very good. Cold plunges. Write this down. Everything is affecting your nervous system. It's the most intelligent system of your body. Okay, your nervous system is the most intelligent system of the body. God puts it in place for you to be safe. The reason you're stuck in PTSD and survival mode is because your nervous system is brilliant at its job. When you are in a very difficult environment, it puts you in a situation of survival, right? It made sure that you are going to stay in that survival mode until you survive, okay? The reason now that you need healing is because now the nervous system is no longer, it doesn't need, you're safe. It doesn't need to be in survival mode, but it has been programmed by the environment you are in, because we are, like I was saying, everything is a program in the nervous system, right? You already programmed it for a long time to be in survival mode, and now you want to break that, right? It's going to be, you're trying to forget the survival brain, right? But if you want it to forget, you have to make it feel safe. You have to remind your brain that you are safe over and over. You have to remind your brain that you love it, that you love every cell of your body, that you are safe, you are eating good, healthy food, you are exercising, you are not watching Fox News, all this bickering and fighting. You don't want to remind your nervous system that you're in survival mode, okay? You don't want to remind it that you're in survival mode. You want to sing, go to church and sing and invite all this peace and beautiful love of God into your heart. You want to unlock homeostasis. You want to unlock calm. You want to unlock the parasympathetic nervous system. That is where healing begins. Healing begins when you start feeling safe. I hope we are following this healing. I hope, Chili, you're getting your formula to how you're going to heal your body. It's important you understand this process because you know, because you have to play the parts. You have to play the part in your healing. Happy Thursday. Yes, a friend of mine painted that rose for me. It's so beautiful. Her name is Judy. Right. Brains and beauty. Yeah, so you see, chili and beans, where we are headed with this, we are headed with healing the whole nervous system. The whole nervous system. I was talking about cold plunges. Cold plunges are good because they cool off your nervous system. And when your nervous system cools off, okay, it activates the mitochondria to produce more energy and the ATP energy. You know, that's the energy of life. When you cool it off, the nervous system has to naturally want to make you feel warm. And when you produce energy, the ATP energy is the one that comes and heals your body. It heals the body, it heals the broken cells, it heals everything, right? Cold plunges are important and necessary to healing your nervous system and to healing the muscles of your body. And remember, a lot of trauma is stored in the muscles of your body. So if cold plunges are healing the muscles, they are also healing the trauma, okay? They are healing the nervous system. Remember, the nervous system goes into every part of your body, right? That is why if I pinch you, you're going to feel the pain. If somebody steps on your toe or you step on something, you know, you've got all these nerves sending signals to your body. The nervous system is everywhere, okay? It is God's map. It is how God knows everything about your body. Okay, people wonder, like, how does God know that the number of hairs in your head? He knows it. He created this intricate nervous system. You think he doesn't have a system of knowing how many hairs you have in your body? He knows every one of them, right? Including your eyebrows and your lashes and hair that grows places that I'm not gonna talk about. He knows every one of those small little hairs, okay? The nervous system is your blessing. Thank you, Richard, for the support. Shem, thank you so much. So, yeah, when we are healing from trauma, we are healing the nervous system, the whole entire nervous system. Don't go out there and listen to the lies that people tell you that you have a chemical imbalance in your brain. You don't have a fucking chemical imbalance. They don't even know if that theory is even real. They only use that theory when they want to prescribe you medication. And you don't think it's a lie? Okay? They use that theory when they want to prescribe you medication. But If they really wanted to give you help, they would tell you fix your relationships, be in relationships that make you feel safe. Let me tell you, if you're going through PTSD, you need relationships that make you feel safe, okay? Because the first thing that makes you, traumatizes you, is being in an environment with human beings that is not safe. Okay, that thing will traumatize you very fast. As a child, as an adult, you're going to get traumatized. So don't be lonely. Get your tribe. If you want to fix your happiness, if you want to fix your nervous system, I mean, having great loving relationship should be like a no-brainer. That is why it's nice to become a kind, loving person, so that other kind and loving people may want to be in your space, and you can enjoy the beauty of having beautiful relationships. You cannot be an asshole and expect that people want to be around you. If you're an asshole to me, I'm blocking you. You can go find other people like you and be friends with them, because I have good energy to give, and I'm not going to give it to dogs. Okay? Mean dogs. I'm not gonna do that. I'm going to give it to the kind, cute, nice, fluffy, you know, not the ones that bark at me. Okay? I'm not gonna do that. Everything good tonight. Everything good tonight. Thank you. Thank you. What is the goal about this live chat? We're talking about post-traumatic bliss, right? We're talking about post-traumatic bliss. Life, there is growth after trauma, there is hope after trauma. You know, don't listen to all these negative people who are telling you post-traumatic stress. They want you to feel sorry for yourself. And when you start feeling sorry for yourself, you're going to get stuck. Okay, there's nothing that makes you get stuck quickly. Then you start feeling sorry for yourself. Yeah, this happened to me, yes, that happened to you, but let's fix it, and let's not feel sorry for ourselves, and let's love ourselves enough to not get stuck. But granted, you will want to feel sorry for yourself, but once you feel sorry for yourself long enough, and you understand it was a trap to make you get stuck, then you will find a channel like me, you'll find a coach like me, and then I'm going to get you out of the woods. I'm going to show you. Remember, I'm just going to educate you. But you know, how many therapists does it take to change a light bulb? They say one. If the light bulb wants to change, you have to take 100% responsibility for your nervous system. To protect yourself. You have something to lose if you don't protect it. If you don't protect your mental health, you will lose it. It's a very fine line between mental health and losing it, right? That's why we need education, to protect our mental health, right? Because Chile, if you knew before you get into the army that it was going to mess you up like that, would you have gone? No. You'd be like, you know, I'll become a teacher. You know, as boring as it is to teach kids, and maybe traumatizing also, right? In some ways, you know. That's why education is important, right? What I don't like about these politicians is they want other people to do they are not sending their own kids to the army, okay? They're not gonna do that, because they know what the army does. They know what the military, what happens in the military. They're not sending their own kids, but they are going to incite you to go fight these wars for them, okay? There's so many injuries, but the ones that people don't see are probably way more deeper. Like if somebody came here and they were maimed, right? And and they don't have a leg. That you can see. But what you cannot see is the emotions that they are going through, right? The mental health that losing even their body parts takes on them. Like, this is an injury. Post-traumatic trauma is an injury. It's just like getting hit by a bus, okay? It's like getting into a severe car accident and being severely traumatized, you know, losing limbs or getting into a fire. All these things, a lot of people don't see that this is an actual injury, right? It is an actual injury. You're losing access to your mental health. You're losing access to joy, to peace. You're losing access to your sleep. You're losing access to your eating habits. You're losing access to life as you used to know it, you know? You're becoming numb. You're unable to feel happiness. A lot of people don't understand PTSD, you know? And PTSD, like, people, this is the crux of the situation, okay? If you've gone through Chile, like, you've gone through the army, right? And when I tell you, when children feel, when a child loses a parent, when a child is not loved by one of both of their parents, when a child is neglected, when a child is abused, they face the same symptoms of PTSD as somebody who has been in the army as an adult, you know, and come out, right? So what children go through when they're traumatized is a lot, And for me, having lost my parents as a child, understanding that trauma can be equated with somebody going into the army and getting all this PTSD. And now I understand why a lot of children, when they've gone through such a severe childhood, they go into drugs, they commit suicide. You know, I understand it. It's an injury, right? What Habitual 3 is saying, it's an injury, a big one. And that is why we need platforms like this to highlight mental health. I mean, I stay here for sometimes more than 200 minutes to talk about this, because I know I might reach somebody who really needs the information that I have, who really needs the knowledge that I have, and they're just probably just scrolling through YouTube, or understanding that they might find something that actually might help them and change their life completely. I am here. I will be here, right? Richard, I am so sorry you lost your father 3 weeks ago. Right? Let's hold a moment of silence for Richard's loss. Yeah, thank you guys for holding the silence, for not commenting, just holding that silence with Richard, right? That moment of silence, right? And somebody has lost somebody so precious to them from this life, right? They have transitioned. Your father just transitioned. This is not it, right? This is not it. Life doesn't end here when you die. You know, it's the body that you bury, but the person has already transitioned into the other realm, right? Into the heavenly realm. So you're going to see them. They just dumped the body. The body is the vehicle that we use here. And once we are done with it, we just dump it and we go. And we don't want to come back. You know, if you see all these people who go through near-death experiences, they say they get very detached from the body. They don't care about the body, right? Because even the Bible says the body goes back to dust. It came from dust, it goes back to dust. But something that did not come from dust, right, goes back to the source, right? That breath of God that he puts in us always goes back to him, because he did put the human being together and molded him from clay. But the human being did not come alive from clay, right? He had to put in his own breath, his own life source. He had to breathe into the human. That is the human, right? Every person here is a breath of God. I can understand that 100%. Every human being you see around is the very breath of God. And once we are done with this body, boof, it drops. We go back to the source, right? Richard, your father is with God. Your father is with God, and he is at peace, okay? He is at peace. You be at peace. You be at peace. And if he was looking you from heaven, he would want you to be at peace. Because he is in total peace. He is back with God, the creator, the very source of love. He is swimming in love, in joy, in eternal peace. Okay? He's looking at you and be like, oh, poor Richard. He feels that loss deeply, right? So take comfort. Take comfort in that. Your loved one is safe and happy. They are at peace. And they want you to be happy. They want you to move on in life. They want you to enjoy whatever life you have left on this planet. Right? Don't disturb your nervous system, okay? Go have fun. Go enjoy your life, right? Have dreams, have goals. You live the life, you know? Let the dead rest. Let the body rest. It go back to dust. And let the people who are dead, who've already transitioned, enjoy. Enjoy being back with God, the source. This is not it. This is not the end. Our life here, you are just a traveler. We have this with this church in Kenya. We call it the Church of God. You know, Kanitha wa Ngai, the Church of God. If you see their funerals, you would think it's a joke. But in their funerals, when somebody dies from that church, they don't cry. They don't feel sorrow, because they understand that that person is transitioning. So for them, it's a celebration of life. That person has finally moved on. They have drums and they start singing songs, right? And they play the drums, they sing the songs, they jump, and they let the person go on their fare thee well. Okay? I don't know why I'm sharing this. And they let the person go on their own farewell. They fare thee well, because they understand the spiritual meaning of life. And they are the only people that I see that understand this from a very deep spiritual way. They understand that person has transitioned, that this life doesn't make sense to them anymore, and they don't want to come back here. They want to stay there, right? And you will hear a lot of nurses who work with people who are dying. The people, they tell them, the people who are transitioning, they tell them, every time they tell them, I can see angels. They are here. They are coming for me. You know, even my brother, before he died, he used to tell us that there are people visiting him. And I didn't used to get it when he was telling me that there are people visiting him. I think they wanted me to know eventually, because I was going to go this grief. I tell you, I went through a whole of grief before I got like this NLP and helped me stabilize my emotions. I think they really wanted me to know that he is being received on the other side. And that is why they had me hear this. Yani they had, when he was seeing other people, I got to know about it. They wanted me to know that he's safe, that he was seeing relatives, he was seeing people on the other side. I didn't get it. I thought it was weird, but I used to tell him, you know, if they call you, don't, they want you to go there. Like, don't tell them you want to go there. Tell them that you want to stay here. And I don't even understand why I was telling him that. But I guess he chose to go there with them. And I now understand. I would have done the same thing. I would have done absolutely the same thing. If it was me, I would have lost this body and transitioned. So now that I understand that when people transition, they go into pure love, like absolute love. I would also not want to be here. I would choose to transition, okay? But when my time comes, you know, I understand that we all have our time here. We have our purpose here. We all, you know, we all have a time. Every man has a destined time to stay here and a time to leave. You're a guest. You're a guest on this planet. Stop playing politics. You're a guest. Nobody cares. When you die, nobody cares whether you are American, whether you are Kenyan, whether you lived on that other corner. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. What really cares was, once you transition, is, were you a kind human being or were you not kind? Were you good to people? Like, that's all that matters. That's the only question that matters at the end of the day. It should be the only question that matters to you. Right? It should be the only thing that matters to you. I don't know what this is you're talking about. If you're going to bring negativity on this channel, just know that you risk not talking to us at all. Because we don't tolerate disrespect, we don't tolerate bad behavior. You know, you see how a lot of times I will talk about science, I will talk about mental health, but I will also talk about spirituality and God. Because I can tell you 100%, if you're going to get mental health help from doctors and other people, they probably don't want to talk to you about God, because the system does not allow them to talk to you about God for good reasons. I'm not going to blame the system for not allowing doctors to use God, because anybody can manipulate you when they are using the word of God. So they let the doctors do their own medical things, and they leave spirituality to be a choice for you, as it was meant to be a choice, right? God never forces anybody to choose the righteous way of life, right? But righteousness is about protecting you, right? If God didn't care about protecting your mental health, he would not bother talk to you all this story about righteousness and whatever. But God knows good and he knows bad. And that is why he talks about righteousness and protecting your mental health, because it is good for you. And he knows the consequences of an evil life. It is going to be bad, right? And that is why he wants you to be smart and wise so that you don't get led astray. Because the enemy is out here looking for somebody to steal, kill, and destroy. It is true. I would not tell you to practice mental health without telling you to practice a spiritual life. I'd be lying to you. I'd be lying to you if I told you there was a way. Like, look at all these rich billionaires, right? Who have all the money in the world. Pretty much they own like 99% of the money in the world, right? But they're so depraved, they're very godless, right? They rape children and they do all these depraved things because their mind has been taken by the enemy, because they do not practice a righteous life, because they think God is a construct and pretty girls are real. Okay? Pretty girls are a construct. God is fucking real. Okay? God is real. But they don't think God is real. They think we made it up. They think the Bible is kind of like, that is how messed up they are, right? They don't have a spiritual life. They don't have a spiritual life because for them, they live in the material world. They live in the material world. And if you want to understand spirituality, is like when we fast, is when we kind of understand God, right? When we are fasting, when we are detaching from the material, is when God really becomes real. When we stay away from sin, when we start trying to strive to live a righteous life, that is when you start to see God. You can't be dense and in the thick of sin and see God, okay? A few people like Paul, on his way to Damascus, he was still thick in sin and he was struck by the love of God and the light of God, and he had to do a 180 on his behavior, right? But you know, the Bible tells you it's very difficult for a rich man to see the kingdom of God, is because the Bible says it's like a camel trying to get into the eye of the needle. The Bible says that is how difficult it is for a rich man to see the kingdom of God. It is that difficult for somebody who is rich to practice good mental health. Because if rich men, you know, the likes of Epstein, Donald Trump, and Bill Gates, right? If they are molesting children, how are they going to see the kingdom of righteousness, the kingdom of being holy? How can they even understand that world, right? Why people strive to be righteous. For them, it's like these people are dense, you know, because these people get away and they get money from stealing, from greed. That's how they get rich, right? Most of them don't work hard. Maybe they work hard sometimes, but also a lot of times they steal, they greed, there's corruption. That's how they get rich. And when you get away with so many things, like you're greedy, you're corrupt, you rape children, you get away with it, you can feel like there is no God because you're really not getting punished, right? But you don't see it like the rottenness, like the thing that you have become is it, right? Is the real punishment. To become such a vile human being that you can't even look into your own conscience, right? Like that is what God looks, and he tell, the Bible says, like, you can, when you sin against the Holy Spirit of God, right? He lets your heart to become depraved. He leaves you alone to do whatever you want. You want to rape children, he leaves you alone, because God cannot stop you from the choices that you make, right? That is why if you want to become addicted to drugs, you will become addicted to drugs. Like we here on this planet, we have a choice. A lot of times we have a lot of choice about how we go about our life, right? You harm others, you steal from others, you do all these things, blah, 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 blah. But God has only one thing. He tells you the wages of sin is death, right? Now, everybody dies. Everybody loses this body. Everybody dies, right? But people don't understand the kind of death that the Bible says. The kind of death is when your mind gets taken away by evil and God lets it, and he takes away his holiness away from you. You will not be able to see his face. That is death, because God is life. But when God turns his back on you and he is done with you, spiritually you're dead. You've been taken away by an evil force. You've become a demon, right? And if he does that for eternity, is the worst feeling and the worst punishment that anybody can ever receive. In the Bible, you see a lot of people crying. Even David, when he sins against God, he cries. And the one thing that he's crying, he's telling God, do not turn your face away from me, right? Because when God turns away his face from you, not only will you face bad mental health, not only will you face confusion, you will, it's done, right? It is done. It is done, right? Some people, they are walking away and they have become the enemy of God because their pride cannot turn them back to God, right? Their pride will not tell them to be merciful to the poor, to feed the hungry, you know, like their pride will not tell them to turn. That is why the Bible says it's very difficult for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God, the same way it is hard for a camel to go through the eye of the needle. I'm from Kenya. Because they would not repent. They got all the money in the world. Why would they don't think that they have space to repent to the Most High? They don't even think God exists. They think God is a construct. For a human being to think God is a construct, there has to be a lot of bad programming, I guess. Very bad programming from the kingdom of darkness. Anyway, let's do the blessing. A nice elephant statue, yeah. And other animals from Kenya. May we be happy and live with a joyful heart. And may we be strong and healthy and live with a body that gives us energy. And may we be safe and protected from all sorts of inner and outer harm. And may we live with the ease that comes with well-being. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning into this channel with me. Thank you for being part of this channel. Bruce Dent, nice to see you, my love, again. Thank you so much for always showing up, always here to support the mental health community, always here to support people who have been living with trauma so that they can live in post-traumatic bliss. Thank you, Platinum Player. Thank you, all of you so much. I appreciate all of you coming here and supporting mental health. It's a passion for me. It's a passion because, you know, I went through a lot and I studied mental health to help myself. And I can only hope that I help somebody else. And we can all be here and help each other, support each other, and show love. Show love and honor to our nervous system, the most intelligent part of our human body is our entire nervous system. And when that system gets confused or stuck, we get traumatized. But there is post-traumatic bliss. There is post-traumatic growth. And there is post-traumatic healing and learning and growth. And all these things. There is hope. There is hope. I love you. God bless you. Good night. Take care.